Welcome to another episode of It's Debatable WWE Edition. I'm your host, Justin Jones, here with co-host Seth.
What's up?
May wonder why am I clapping, right? Seth was about to ask that question. I am clapping for the actual production I've seen from the creative team in WWE, right? Now it's not like y'all are moving mountains, but y'all are doing y'all damn job, and I'll give y'all credit for that, right? Ever since SummerSlam, WWE has been back on the right track. We are getting the matches that we want to see. We're seeing people we want to see in championship spots in those spots. We see people that we want to see get those opportunities, get their opportunities, right? And they are making the stories more interesting, right? So I will give them their credit. Now I don't see why it's taking y'all a year to actually put pen to paper and actually start doing some decent ideas, but gotta give credit to where it's due. They have been doing well, right? They've made this Bloodline 2.0 actually a little bit more exciting, right? Over the last couple of weeks, we've seen people like the Chad Gables of the world, the Chelsea Greens, right? People that we feel wasn't getting their just due. Finally, finally, just get their moment, right? Fuck, we even seen somebody like Nick Aldis that real hardcore WWE, well, not WWE, but wrestling fans have been waiting for. They just been doing things that, we wouldn't have expected about a year ago. But so let me ask you a question. What do you think has been the biggest turnaround since SummerSlam? Like, what do you see different within the product?
What I see different within the product is giving a plethora of people opportunities to really shine. I think from just giving multiple storylines more than just we focus and center around just one individual or maybe a main event individual. I think we put a little limelight on just the younger generation mixed with the older generation. Like when we got the Brock and Oba and how that was being teased from as soon as SummerSlam started. That was the right direction to where how some people usually like back then in WWE how sometimes in this Triple H era how we would tease a rivalry and then we would do nothing with it, and then we would just wait for like months and months and months to go back at it. But I like how we're just jumping right into storylines right now. We're not waiting for this has to be like a WrestleMania thing or this has to be a SummerSlam thing. We can get these type of rivalries and still have it as WrestleMania, but we need to set a foundation now. So if we set foundations now and we're doing at these regular PLEs, it boosts like the interest of fans because it's like damn, we're gonna have to wait till Mania to get a Randy and Cody, or we're gonna have to wait till Mania to get a Oba and Braun Breaker. No, we don't gotta wait no more. Then we're getting more character development within guys like Chad Gable. We're getting character development in Chelsea Green, who's been moving the crowd. We get Solo Sokoa. He's stepping up, and we're not doing the basic thing of bringing him back into the bloodline. We're putting a little more pizzazz on it. LA Knight is getting his moment to shine. I don't know if it's going to lead to championship run, to title run, but at the same time, is what I'm saying. We're putting a lot of limelight on a lot of faces, and I think we're not just. How do I put it like this? I don't think it's like more so about just the characters we get, the character work. I think it's just the storylines too. And I think now WWE's having this thing to where we let people in. We're not faking history. We're not gonna ignore history. Like when I was watching the segment on Monday Night Raw to close out the show with the Bloodline, Roman and Solo had to talk to said, "Yo, you were supposed to acknowledge me since last year." We did this thing to where now they said roll back. I haven't seen it roll back the footage, and they have like the little vignettes, and then I haven't seen that in quite some time. So it is a lot different now, and I think it's starting to give like a little bit. May I say the attitude era in the sense to where now we're developing more characters. Now it's just not we gotta wait till the main event segment just to see just to end the show off on a positive note. a lot more people are getting their shine and their grace. And I think that's the most important part of what WWE is about right now since SummerSlam. Because it's not just the same four people. It's not the Punks of the world. It's not the Cody Rhodes of the world. It's not the Roman Reigns. It's not the Seth Rollins. Everybody's getting a little bit more shine. Everybody's character sort of seems more important than it is usual. Like with this, like even on SmackDown with CM Punk and Kevin Owens, they having they shine. Cody and Randy's having they shine. Gunther's off doing this thing. It's not like you need a title to be important right now, and I think that's the biggest thing if I want to take away. And I kind of felt like it took me long to get to that point, but I feel as if not having the title right now is not that important. Like, you know what I'm saying? Character development, storylines is way more important than being a champion right now.
Yeah, can y'all still hear me, see me? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I agree with everything that you said. I think characters that we know who might have been just great in ring, or we have may seen maybe just only good at backstage segments, just actually really diving deeper into their character, right, and really showing what they can do, right. And we both brought up the great example of Chelsea Green, right? Somebody who the world's been clamoring for to be in these right high level event spots for a while now, right? You could at least say over the last 3 years. And now, even though it came maybe due to a Rhea Ripley injury, but this is what we've been waiting for. We just seen the segment on Friday Night SmackDown. What was it, 2 weeks ago? To where people are saying she cut the best promo of the year, right? And watching it back, I probably agree. Once you just look at the passion, and shout out to, I forgot who this person was I seen on Instagram, and they did this thing to where they played the video and they was like playing like sad music in the background, and it literally seemed like a movie, right? A movie scene. So shout out to WWE once again. They are doing their thing, and it's becoming watchable again. But you kind of alluded to a point that I think is very important. And then Santi, shout out to him, right? He also brought this up. We can't just wait for SummerSlam and WrestleMania to get big moments. That's not gonna keep the casual viewer invested. Of course, die-hard WWE fans are going to watch everything, right? But for the casual viewer who's tuning into a Monday Night Raw and all they're seeing is Austin Theory beat up Tozawa, that's not gonna make them watch it. No disrespect to Austin Theory, but I'm just using you as an example. It's just filler, right? It can't just be Lyra Valkyria versus Sol Ruka. And not throwing shots at y'all because y'all had a great match, but that's not going to keep the casual viewer, a new fan, right? Someone you're trying to introduce to wrestling, just showing them that is not just going to just make them want to keep watching it. We need to see segments like we've seen Solo Sokoa, all right? And let's talk a little bit about that, right? You've been someone just keep who's been saying over like the last month, you got to push Solo Sokoa. Solo Sokoa is doing his thing right now. And I don't know if I would make him a world champion right now. I don't know if I would go that far, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was over the next couple of months, right? He's doing great character work. So just speaking about just that segment right there, because people are saying that that may be the best Bloodline segment since WrestleMania 40. What did you think of that segment? And also, what do you think of now Roman Reigns becoming a heel again? Because we all seen that's what's being, broadcasted on the WWE website, right? That he is now officially labeled the heel. Is what do you think of that whole segment? And what do you want to see next out of that?
Um, I think starting with the whole solo and just the main event, the closing segments of Raw, I think it was a game changer. I think, like you said, like WWE's definitely been listening to the fans and seeing the direction that they want to go, and they know the best move was to keep Solo rebellious and keep him out of the bloodline. I think that was a major thing. I think the spinoff at the end to where you thought Solo was going to revert back to the bloodline ways and spike LA Knight, then he spiked Roman Reigns, and then it just gave a pop that just felt organic. Like, and I think that's one thing that they struck gold with. LA Knight and Solo being babyface. I think that's something that struck gold in that case scenario to where now the fans are reacting and they're feeding off of that. And now they wanna get behind the Solo movement. And I think to the second part of your question, to where you ask about Roman Reigns being the heel, I think, you know what I'm saying, everybody can be a babyface, and Roman Reigns did his fair share of a babyface, but to really run the WWE and to be part of the bloodline, they work best as heels because you know what I'm saying, they're initially the bad guys that stopping everybody else from trying to climb the mountain. Roman Reigns is the mountain. He's the pinnacle of WWE, and whoever wants to gain his weight got to deal with Jacob Fatu, the Usos, and him. And now he's trying to make everybody fall in line. And you could tell it was a heel promo based on how he came at Solo. Like he little bro Solo. He said you're supposed to be on your knees begging me for apologies. You supposed nigga took his glasses off and stomped on him. I said, yo, I was weak. Like, you ever seen that movie American Gangster? Where the nigga said, and take them damn glasses off. Yeah, like shit like that. So I think it's best for business right now. I think more so. Roman was never really like the real type of baby face to really like be a good guy. More so, he's just naturally himself, and the best way it works is as a heel. Like you know what I'm saying. Like babyface Roman was cool, but heel Roman is the draw, is the attraction, because it's like now you can set up more rivalries. Now it doesn't feel forced that we have two baby faces going at it,
Right.
and it puts over the baby face more in a situation like that. Like LA Knight gets more over as a baby face. Solo's getting more over as a baby face. So it wouldn't make sense for Solo to go back to the bloodline, and now the bloodline's a whole baby. It wouldn't make sense though. But there's great character development for everybody else around the bloodline.
Well, yeah, I definitely agree. A great example of what you just said with a wrestler that was cool as a baby face, but really made his name as a heel. I'm thinking of someone like Edge back in the day, right? We seen him do his best work as a heel. Now, could he play the baby face role? We seen it too, right? And not saying it was bad in any estimation, but we knew him for being the rated R superstar and just having one of the most iconic rivalries, right, with John Cena as a heel, right? Going up against The Undertaker as a heel. All right, so I definitely agree with that point right there. Um, you brought up LA Knight, right? That is, well, we do have this Mexico tournament, the Mexico City Raw episode, to where it's gonna be Penta versus Roman Reigns, and just sorry to burst everyone's bubble, Roman's going to win that match. But let's move on a little bit past that, right? It's being rumored to be LA Knight, Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank. I don't want to ask you who should win. I want to ask you, what do you think would be best for business leaving that pay per view and after that match?
What would be best for business? I think what's going to be best for business is just the TKO status of Roman Reigns. On a fandom's perspective, I just need LA
But
Knight
hold
to get.
on, hold on, hold on. Slow down. I didn't mention TKO, and I know why you went there. But I'm saying best for business. Are you saying it pushes the company forward and brings in more fans, right? And puts us on a better pedestal if Roman is champion? Or do you feel LA Knight could do more? I'm not saying from a TKO point, I'm saying you running the business, right? What do you feel puts this WWE in just a better spot and continues to bring in fans?
I think just listening to the fans and giving LA Knight at least a decent run. Shit, they could do the LA Knight and Sam. They could do the Sami Zayn method for LA Knight. The fact that he got one over is enough for the fans to be like, "Yo, he finally did it." And that way, you don't even have to carry out the whole storyline until WrestleMania. Sometimes, there's just title holders for maybe a big case scenario though, and that wouldn't hurt nobody if Roman dropped the title and then got it right back. Like
No,
now
yeah.
you get to see what LA Knight does with the titles and how he conducts his promo. How would it look? You know what I'm saying? Like certain people can hold the title and make it look good for what, a month. Like I've seen numerous people hold the title for like a month and then they did good work with it, and then you know what I'm saying, they just go off into trying to get back to the title. Some people are better as title chasers than the title holders, but in this case scenario, eventually you've been chasing the title for so long. It's only right that you at least get to have the opportunity to hold it once. So if that's the case, I would try to put the title on LA Knight and Money in the Bank, maybe next PLE, or maybe even the fucking Raw after. You know, Roman gets the title back some way, somehow. And that way you don't have to drag the story to WrestleMania and you can focus on what's next at WrestleMania. And if we're talking about maybe we're moving towards the direction of Oba versus Roman or anybody in that caliber or Braun versus Roman, that way the title is not stuck, is not fixated on LA Knight being snubbed out the picture.
All
You could
right,
get it early.
yeah, I definitely agree. I'm not mad at you have LA Knight win the title at Money in the Bank, even if it is that next Monday Night Raw, and then you have them run it back, and then Roman wins from interference, maybe by a Zilla too, right? And maybe that's how you bring in a Zilla, right, from NXT if they feel he's ready. There's just so many scenarios of how you can do it. But I definitely think something WWE has to get back to. And I feel they have over the last couple of weeks, once again, since SummerSlam, is strike while the iron is hot, right? Chelsea Green was on fire. You just put the title on her. Right? You could have put it on a Charlotte Flair who might have been the more safe choice. But no, the crowd wanted Chelsea Green, right? You could have you could have had Chad Gable not win it and kept going in that of the direction of Penta, who's been putting on bangers, right? But no, everyone wanted Chad to win, so I definitely think I think it'll be the smartest moves to put it on L.A. Knight because one, it would be unpredictable, and two, it's going to keep the fans wanting to see now what happens next, right? But you brought in, but you brought up another person, which leads me to the next segment, Obafemi. And Obafemi right now has been beefing with Braun Breaker, right? People are saying that this is the new generation's biggest feud, right? People are saying this is now the modern day John Cena and Batista. This could be the next The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. What do you think of Braun Breaker and Oba? And do you feel a loss for either of them hinders their direction moving forward?
Um, no, I think when we think about a loss doesn't hinder nobody in the long run, especially when you have two guys that have their careers ahead of them. A loss like this in the first match, what would it do? How would it necessarily hinder somebody? Overfemi just came off probably one of the biggest win in his career. Maybe if you want to say Braun, it slows his momentum down, or maybe it gets him more hungry and more to want to be more of an individual than more be stuck within the vision. And maybe that loss changes him to where he just crashes out and says, I'm doing this on my own. I don't fuck the vision. Like I need to focus. I need to get back to who I was. Maybe that might, but either way, I think if morale boosts everybody, boosts both Braun and Oba, no matter who wins. Because I think more so if we think about it, both of these guys are going to be star players for years to come. Main events at WrestleMania, maybe multiple time world title opportunities, multiple championships. I think that's just the thing that's gonna be with them. But if we
Yo.
1 second. All right, you can hear me? Yeah,
Yeah.
my fault. I didn't realize I was in the Discord still. But yeah, like I was saying, um, I don't think a loss hinders nobody. I think this is just WWE striking gold right now. I think it moves forward to now. Whoever wins the first one is more going to be more desperate though. And if I had to pick a winner right now, I'd say Braun might need it more off the strength that he needs something to put some credibility to his name. He needs a win like that to put some credibility towards his name. So the fact that Oba just won against Brock, it would make no sense for Oba to beat Braun again. These are two young superstars, so we got to make Braun look valuable in this case scenario, though. But I don't think there's no hindering anybody for whoever loses this match.
Yeah, I agree 100% with everything that you just said. We have to stop acting like a loss puts someone to the back of the line or automatically drops their stock.
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
get buried. You see, you get buried for anything. I hate that idea. I hate that notion that if you lose a match, you're buried.
Yeah. Like it don't I don't understand that. Like I understand these are two young superstars and you don't just want to completely fumble them, right? But let's say the match goes down that Saturday night's main event and Oba wins. Okay, Oba's that guy. He's Oba Femi. Like that doesn't discredit anything from Brown Breaker. Brown Breaker has won a title at WrestleMania, right? He has been a tag team champion. He has competed for a world heavyweight title already, right? Oba hasn't done that. So what is Braun over Oba because Braun had a world heavyweight title opportunity before him? No, these are two of our brightest stars, right? This is the future of the company, right? And even if Braun wins, this doesn't mean that Oba shouldn't face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I don't see how one thing automatically has to connect to the other. I don't understand that. This is just going to be a great match. Now, do I think it's just going to be a clean finish? No, right? I don't see that happening. I just smell Paul Heyman just being involved in some capacity, because it seems like he's been in the middle of a love affair between Oba and Braun Breaker. Um, I could see Paul Heyman aligning with Oba Femi. Real quick, is that something that you would want to see?
Nah, I think Obafemi's doing great work by himself.
Okay.
I'd say I think he has the character work. I think he has the skill. He just won the crowd over by just doing a Braun Breaker impersonation. We don't usually see like
Spot on.
yeah, like how do I put it? Like you don't usually see guys like his frame size, like boys. Like I just think that like you don't see guys like that really just have that much character work. Like when we think about it, like outgoing on the mic, like it's built like a super heavyweight. Like it's kind of he's a rare breed. He's a rare breed.
But then
So
look, you have to your point, you have to credit NXT.
true.
All right. There wasn't there when we was growing up, right, watching wrestling, there wasn't an NXT to where you could be there for 2, 3, 4 years, work on your mic skills, work on being better in the ring and all that, then get called up to the main roster. That's not how it was. You might have did your thing in the independent scene, right? You might have been in TNA, right? And then come to WWE, but there wasn't always a developmental like that. Right now, we all know they have sort of like developmental things behind the scenes, right? And things like that. We all seen where right the John Cena's had came from, the Randy Ortons, the um Brock Lesnar's, the Batistas, right? So we're not saying that you just automatically just when you went to WWE was just on the main roster, but there was not a brand like NXT to where you could really hone in on your craft. So we are going to continue to see stars, right? So I think the point me and Seb is both trying to make here is that I don't think a win or loss really should hurt or really just leapfrog them to a whole different stratosphere. I think it's gonna be a great match, right? It's something that we think wanted to see but forgot about due to how they've been booking Braun Breaker. But I think it's gonna be very, very interesting. Um moving on. SmackDown is tonight. Um a lot of interesting going on. Two things I do want to talk about though. First, we will have the debut of Blake Monroe. I don't see how it took this long to do a match with her and Julia, but hey, we've made it to the finish line.
Julia still wrestles.
Listen, I'm not surprised you asked that question. But Blake Monroe will be going up against Julia. What do you think of Blake Monroe, and where do you think her ceiling is here in WWE?
Um, I feel like your ceiling is a main eventer. I think give it some time. I don't think we have to rush her process though. I kind of like the backstage shenanigans before the wrestling, so the fans could kind of see the type of character she is but not see it like in full wrestling effect yet. I think that's one of the things that WWE tried to do with her character, making sure like she's been a menace in the background rather than inside the ring. So now we're gonna see if she could back it up in the ring. I think Blake Monroe's character, and I think what WWE actually did was actually take their time with her. We have her in the backstage segments attacking all these women. She has a target on the back. I feel like the pop she's gonna get is gonna be a good heel work. I think she's gonna get booed on some serious shit because now the fans are familiar with her, and now that she could actually come outside into the ring and actually pop her shit. I think a lot of fans are gonna definitely give her a lot of mixed reactions. Especially if we're putting Julia as a babyface right now. I think that's a good debut for her in the ring. So I think Blake Monroe is gonna be good in the WWE. I think her ceiling is up there with the best. I think yeah, she's a main eventer. I think the different types of feud you could have with her. I believe she could have feuds with Tiffany Stratton. I feel like if you want to put her against Rhea Ripley, that would strike gold too as well. I think yeah, she's gonna be good because it's not just the character work. It's like the persona she has. It's like you could tell like she's a real heel guy. I can't see her over as a babyface. I think heels go a longer way in the industry, if anything.
I agree with half of what you said. I do believe her ceiling is a main event. I think she's a star in the making. Right. We've seen the work she did over there in AEW, especially the work with her and Tony Storm. So I definitely think this was a A+ pickup by the WWE. But what I won't agree is that I don't agree with her just being called up and then for damn near months just periodically backstage just attacking people. Um, because your rollout is important and how you attack your rollout is important, right? Two things. One, I want to say, look at a JC Jane, right? She was called up, and the minute she came out, we all know the heat she got, how she fought through that, and how she just continued to work. But she was in matches, she was attempting to be in, right in storylines. They were actually doing. I think with this Blake Monroe, up until today, they didn't have anything to do with her. Now, was that because people got hurt? I don't know, but if that was the case, I do feel like you could have kept her on NXT. Once again, we have to remember that there are a lot of stars and potential stars on both brands right now. Right. So if WWE knows that they don't have room for this or not enough time or there's not a story or whatever it may be, that's why you have NXT. All right. Especially if over there on NXT, there's not a whole bunch going on. Right. And not saying there isn't, right? Because we all see with the work that Kendall Gray is doing. We've seen the debut of Zillified too. Grayson Waller is being repackaged as this pipe bomb guy, just saying the first thing that comes to his head. So it's not saying they're not cooking, right? Shawn Michaels finds a way to make things work. But you have all these people, and I said this before, that have been called up and just aren't being utilized. I'm gonna say this again. Where is Jordan Grace?
Is she injured or something?
No, she's just in catering, enjoying a salad, right? Watching SmackDown like the rest of us. But that's another story for another day. Um, yeah, just if you don't got anything for these up and comers, keep them on NXT and continue to let them just get even better as a prospect. Come on, WWE. Like I don't think that's something we should drop the ball on. But her and Julia, it's gonna be a great match. I will be interested to see her reception saying Blake Monroe when her music hits and she does come out. They have kind of changed her entrance. I don't think she's doing the whole mirror thing and all that. I want to see how this is gonna go. But I'm rooting for her. Moving on. The main event is also what I want to talk about. This is going to be in Toronto tonight. Tickets are sold out. I don't know if that's because the product is better. I don't know if that's because we got a big match tonight, or is it both? CM Punk, Kevin Owens, Kevin Owens' first title defense, I said title defense, title match since coming back, right? Has not been champion now for over 10 years. We didn't even know if Kevin Owens was going to be back. What do you expect out of this match? And how do you see this finishing?
Um,
And also, just real quick, what have you thought of the feud overall so far?
so I'll start with the last question you just asked about what I think about the feud overall. I think more so the feud has just been a promo battle. It reminds me of CM Punk's time with AEW with the Hangman Adam Page and then the Eddie Kingstons of the world. For all the AEW fans that seen CM Punk when he was in AEW, a lot of people sort of said, "Yo, I hated you back then. You didn't change or nothing like that." It's sort of the same thing. Everybody's saying how Punk is this, how Punk is that. It's not really more so within like the promo that I was expecting to hear, but I did like how in the second promo with Kevin Owens, how they went a little deep into their history so that people could understand the nature and the background of why Kevin Owens feels this way about CM Punk. I think a lot of times when wrestlers giving their promos now, they expect us to understand the story rather than getting into the depths of the story as to what got us here, why I feel this way about you, this, that, and the third. So I think the second promo that they had did a better job of making the fans understand and making us invested. But I think there's a certain time and place for talking, and then talking is done now. So within this match, I'm expecting the shenanigans and I'm expecting the shenanigans from no other than Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn cost Kevin Owens this match because Kevin Owens got in the way of him being the number one contender at SummerSlam. So I think Sami Zayn is out to get it for Kevin Owens because he wants the title match. Sami Zayn has feel like he's been screwed as of recently by a lot of reasons, justifiably so. If anything, I'm never really a Sami Zayn type of guy, but if you really look at it, everything he says does make sense. Like he's definitely been screwed on numerous occasions when it comes to just being in this title mix and everything like that. So it's going to be interesting to see the feud overall so far, I think this is just the beginning. I would like to see them move forward with this. I don't think this is something that just like a filler or anything like that. I think maybe you should hold on to this for a while. Get into the depths of it. I think both cut serious promos, Punk and Owens. They both do a hell of a promo job, but it's only been like what 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't think this match should be the end all be all for the feud, especially if you got all the other main eventers, looking in their other direction. Cody's focused on Randy. Gunther's about to be in a feud with a Finn Balor, I believe, or Chelsea Green or Matt Cardona. So you know what I'm saying? Keep the main event for right now. That's something you struck gold with, so you could keep it there for a while.
Yeah, side note, shout out to Gunther for dropping a bar. Once Matt Cardona came down to the ring, he said, look, all the way from catering to the ring. That was funny as hell. But CM Punk and Kevin Owens, I've been invested. I like when feuds feel real. I like when it feels like they really don't like each other, and I think it's known that I really don't think that they do. Even though the when I hear the original story of their beef, Kevin Owens, CM Punk, that's petty. It's over petty nonsense. Too much testosterone in the damn room. I'll label it that. But y'all don't. Y'all should have no real problems. All right, there's people out here killing each other. All right, y'all two calm down. All right, but keep it real for the WWE. I'm just saying, from what I've heard, I don't see how it all came down to this. But hey, when you are two alpha dogs, right, in a profession to where you want to be on top, I can see how things can get very misconstrued. Um, Once again, and I said this, I can automatically tell when someone has a problem with CM Punk because when they start doing a promo, they have to call him Phil about 57 times. So I can already see what was going on here. Another thing, is it me, Seb, Why is it that all like mostly all the men in WWE don't like CM Punk and all the females do? You never noticed that?
Niggas be tender.
No, I'm just saying when it comes to all these females, they always love to be around them. I see them backstage all on them. Not saying anything like that. AJ Lee, calm down. All right, we're not saying that. But what I am saying is that it just seems like when it comes to these guys, they think he's a piece of shit and the reincarnation of the devil. Right. And then when we hear the females talk, it's like, ooh, punky poo. Like, so I don't know what the heck. Listen, I don't know what's going on there. But back on track. I like the feud. It's been must see TV in my opinion. It has helped SmackDown get back to somewhat its good gracious. In terms of what happens tonight, I can see what you're saying if Sami Zayn gets involved. I don't know if that will happen. I think it's real 50-50 on that. Because then I hope it's not just gonna lead to a Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn feud that we've seen about two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So many times I can't count. But I can see it though, seeing that Sami Zayn has been feel like he's been screwed over time and time and time and time and time and time again. Right? He's been also at war with water bottles since the beginning of the year. But I think it's gonna be a great match. And I want everyone. I don't think that because it's in Toronto and because his family's been invited and all that, that Kevin Owens is going to win. I've seen people's family front row and they get decimated. So
True.
I don't think it means that. Go ahead.
No, I said I was agreeing to that.
Yeah, I just don't automatically think it means that. So everyone, don't get your hopes up. But could Kevin Owens win? Yeah, Kevin Owens is credible. He's great in ring. I think it would be fresh to see. You can continue to extend this feud. Even if CM Punk wins, I think the feud will continue. Kevin Owens isn't going anywhere. I think this is something that can go all the way into Money in the Bank. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be must see TV. Interesting to watch. If I had to predict who's going to win, I would say CM Punk is going to win. I still have to see how WWE treats their starting fives because there's a starting five in the men division and a starting five in the female division. And 9 times out of 10, if you are not in that five, you are not going to be world champion. All right. Now, you may have your Sami Zayn instances to where they just do something to tell the fans to shut the hell up. Right. Or you get a situation like to where Chelsea Green, to where you kind of get it because Rhea Ripley got hurt. If we're just going to be 100% honest with ourselves, but that happens in wrestling. You have to crown a new champion, right? I gotta see, do they get away from that stigma of the starting five, right? If you're not Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, right? Or I guess you can say a Gunther, you don't really get that world heavyweight title, all right, or WWE title. For the females, if you're not Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, right, you don't really always get the title, right? Especially in today's age. So I want to see it. It will be very, very interesting to see. But let the best man win. Once again, that's going down on SmackDown tonight, 8 p.m. on the USA Network. I believe, unless I'm tweaking right now.
No,
But
you
trying to think whether there's anything else I just wanted to mention. Is there anything else that you just wanted to mention within WWE right now? You got to get off your chest.
mm, let's keep the momentum up, man. I think I've been very happy with the product. I think Raw and SmackDown both have been doing their thing individually. This is the first time I could say that both Raw and SmackDown has been good for quite some time. Um, I hope we don't lose the plot and then start going back to our TKO-ish ways. But I've been impressed this far. That's why I really want to do an episode on WWE.
Yeah. Lastly, just so we get flowers, I'll give MVP of the week to Rey Mysterio. Definitely just at his age, 50 plus. All right. and is wrestling better than some people in their 20s, 30s. All right. Him and Chad Gable probably had match of the week, match of the year that some people are saying. Is it better than Mass versus Mass or Grande Americano versus Grande Americano? I don't know if I could say that, but it was up there. They went to war. All right. Shout out to Chad Gable for putting on a banger match right for that IC title. Shout out for Rey Mysterio to show that I still got it.
Literally.
All right. So I'll give him MVP. Um, and I'll end it also with this. Last thing, WWE, don't treat Raquel Rodriguez like this. Don't do that. That's not. I see you gave her her moment. Is she not gonna feud with anybody? Is she just gonna hold on to the title, have barbed wire around it, and just still be the lackey to Liv Morgan?
Am I lying if I said that shit look retarded?
No, listen, I just don't like why can't she feud with Lyra? Why can't she continue just to feud with Soruka? I don't get there's no one. Like why I don't understand. Come on, WWE. You're doing good, but don't forget about your champion. She's the women's intercontinental champion. When you had Becky with the damn title, we seen her everywhere. Don't do that, WWE. I'm watching you. But that's gonna do it for this episode of this debatable WWE edition. Don't want to thank everybody for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Follow us on all social media platforms that is debatable double underscore, and follow me at Justin Jones on Facebook for details and developments on the platform. Jersey.
Jers. And that's a wrap.